Hey guys, Gaming Off the Grid here. Today we find ourselves at Reclaimed Rails Brewery, where we are going to talk about our top 5 favorite shoot-em-ups of all time. What are we drinking today?
Today we're drinking Hipster Juice IPA brewed right here at Reclaimed Rails in Bondurant, Iowa.
All right, you know the drill. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring that bell icon so you never miss an upload. And sit back, relax, pour yourself a beer if you care to, and let's talk about our top 5 favorite shmups of all time. To shoot this episode for a long time. Shoot 'em ups are one of our favorite gaming genres. We love playing them together. They're so difficult, they're so beautiful, and today we're going to talk about our top 5 of all time.
Yes, so let's just jump right in with number 5, Galactic Attack.
Yes, this game has a lost and mixed up identity. So depending on what part of the globe you're on, it's been called several things. It started off as Ray Force, and then because of a copyright strike, they called it Layer Section, which might be one of the worst gaming names of a video game ever. Layer Section. Okay. But then in the US, I think it got the best name, Galactic Attack.
Galactic Attack.
Now, the version we have on the Sega Saturn is the Japanese version titled Layer Section, because it is a fairly expensive game to get on the Saturn.
Yeah, but it is so much fun, and it's 1 to 2 people, and it's incredible.
Yeah, so being a co-op shooter is a lot of fun. A lot of shooters are 1 player, so it does have that co-op element. It's also got a really cool, layer section, I think is where they got it. There is a ground level that you can shoot and target the things below you. So you have 2 attacks, a normal attack and then like a rocket launcher that can take out the landscape below.
It's super cool because you go up and get stuff targeted and then you move around, and it's really cool. When I was playing it, I was using 2 hands and I had the remote on my knee and I was just like this. It was like an arcade machine. It was so much fun.
It's one of my favorite games on the Sega Saturn. It's beautiful. It holds up very well today. That 32-bit era hasn't aged the best, but Layer Section, Galactic Attack, Ray Force, whatever you want to call it, looks beautiful. And I think it's one of the best shooters of all time and one of the best Sega Saturn games you can get. So you might want to check that one out. Let's talk about number 4. It's on another Sega console.
Yes, it's weird. 2 Sega things, and we don't know that much about Sega. Giga Wing.
Yes.
This game is awesome.
So it's an arcade port to the Sega Dreamcast, and Giga Wing is another hard game to find. To be perfectly honest, our copy of Giga Wing is a reproduction, because to get a copy nowadays, well north of $100. But this game is great, and again, it is a co-op shooter, so it's a lot of fun.
And it's by Capcom, so they've been on fire back then, and they're on fire now. It's just awesome.
Yeah, and they have a lot of really good shooters actually from this era. So this game, the sprites are beautiful. It visually is one of the better shooters I've ever played. Has a really cool attack mechanic. So you have 3 different types of shots. You've got a normal shot, and you've got a reverse shot, or like a mirror shot. So you can take the enemy bullets, reverse them, and point them back at the enemy.
Which is really cool. It's really handy.
And then you have the bomb.
Oh, the bombs. You need the bombs to destroy it. So we were saving the bombs for the boss battles, and we would just go in and bomb, 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 boom, boss dead instantly.
Yeah, I don't think anybody thus far would have much to argue with our list. Those are both fantastic games. Number 3 is where things get a little controversial.
Yes, get a little dicey.
Our number 3 game on our list is R-Type Final on the PlayStation 2. Many of the R-Type games would be worthy of being on this list, but R-Type Final, it's such a strange game, and you can feel the series dying. You can feel the finality of the series, the music and everything. It just has such a unique feel, even for the R-Type series.
I think that's why they call it R-Type Final.
Yeah, and it really wasn't the final game. R-Type Tactics came out after that, but it's not even like a real R-Type game. So this is like the final of the R-Type traditional game.
And this game is so cool. It's really slow, and for a shoot 'em up, I'm usually fast-paced, get in, get out. So R-Type is a weird series for me, because you gotta take a step back and breathe, and you gotta stay back and shoot things on the screen. And it's really cool because you have this thing that detaches and you can put it on your butt or your front, and it's just really cool. Yeah, and I think you touched on the pacing. This game is completely different than most shooters because of that pacing. It's slow, it's methodical, and again, when you get to about the city realm of this game, it just feels like a cinematic experience, like you're going into that final fight of an action movie or something like that. They did such a great job with it. I think visually it is the most beautiful R-Type game in the series. And you mentioned music, and the music in this is so good and cinematic. You just feel it's just a sweet experience, and it's on the PS2, one of my favorite consoles. It has the rumble. Yep. Man, it's incredible. And what's really cool, there's 101 ships you can unlock.
Yeah, so
that's huge.
There's a ton of replay value because you were playing it actually this morning before we came here to shoot, and you picked a ship that I have never seen before. All the power-ups were different, and it just was a unique experience, and I had never seen the game played that way. So it was a lot of fun.
It's just super cool.
You got to get out and pick up R-Type Final. If you still have your PlayStation 2 laying around, you won't regret it.
Now, let's jump into another one of my favorite consoles of all time, the Nintendo GameCube.
All right, here it is, Ikaruga. This game is one of the crown jewels in our collection. It is one of, if not the best shoot 'em up of all time, but it did not make #1 on our list. It again is a 2-player co-op. It has that option.
And it's probably one of the hardest shoot 'em ups I've ever played.
I think there's only 5 or 6 levels, and to be perfectly honest, we've never seen past level 3. This game will bust your balls every single time, and it's gonna kick your ass, chew you up, spit you out.
What makes this game super unique is there's 2 color options. There's black and white, and if you're black, you can't get hit by black bullets, and if you're white, you can't get hit by white bullets. So it's like you gotta switch between the colors mid-shooting, and it's so confusing and so hard, but so sweet at the same time.
Yeah, so basically you rotate your ship, and if you're the color that's hitting you, you absorb those bullets and it helps you power up. Obviously you have to attack that other color, so it does add a dynamic that is not available in any other shooter. And we actually got this game luckily at a garage sale, but it is one of the more expensive games on our list. We're sorry about that, but there are several ways to play this. I think it's on some digital download stores and things like that. So you definitely need to check out Ikaruga. The 1-player experience is great, the 2-player experience is great, and it's a very unique shooter. Absolutely worthy of being #2 on our list.
Yes. All right, now this is when things are gonna get really controversial. This is our #1 shooter of all time, and we've talked about it so many times. It's the original Gradius on NES. Oh my God.
Yep, and there are some games, you know, Gradius 5 is really good, but something about the original game, the aesthetic, the feel, this game takes me back to when I was first starting to play video games, and I would have never sought out or played any of the games on our list had it not been for Gradius. And to this day, if I walk into an arcade or I go over to a friend's house and there is an option to play Gradius, I'm playing it.
Yeah, there's a club that we play in a lot in our band, and they have a Gradius machine, and instead of watching the other bands play like I'm supposed to, I'm over there playing Gradius all night long, and it's just so much fun.
And just so you guys know, this asshole has the record on that machine, by the way.
High score.
So, yeah. So this game, it's tons of power-ups. It's a Konami game back when they were just on fire. This game just never gets old to us, and if you can beat this game, you are an absolute badass, because this game is so hard.
But it's so weird. Like, Konami did like a weird thing back then. The game is so hard, but you get to the final boss, and it's the easiest boss in the entire game. It doesn't even shoot you. You just sit there and shoot it until it's dead. I don't want to give any spoilers away, but that's how it ends.
Yeah, and they're all banking on that nobody can get through that gate because they don't know to just sprint through it. But there's no argument between either one of us. This was easy to come down to be our #1 shooter.
Yeah,
and our channel, when we founded it, we were playing a ton of this game, and we still play it a lot.
That's the reason this is #1, is because this is the first shooter that I ever played. It's the game that introduced the entire genre to me, so it's always going to have a special place in my heart, and that's why it will always be #1.
All right, now that you know our top 5, we want to bring in a guy that knows more about this genre than anybody we have ever met. He knows every game on the underground scene, the imports, the homebrews, and everything in between, and we want to know what his favorite shooter of all time is. So John, from Baltimore Retro Gaming, let us know what your favorite shmup of all time is.
What's up, guys? John here from Baltimore Retro Gaming. Thanks for having me on the channel. Now, I've been thinking about this question a lot. You know, what's my favorite shooter, my #1 pick? Well, one game came to mind above all others, and that game is Troubleshooter on the Sega Genesis. And look, guys, don't let that cover fool you, because this game is badass. Awesome gameplay, graphics are there, the sound is incredible. This game probably has a better intro than any other shooter I've ever played, definitely any other Sega Genesis game. And if you like this game, it's got a sequel that only came out in Japan, Battlemania 2. Now, these are single-player experiences, but don't let that fool you from trying to pick these games up. They're totally awesome. And if you're a shmup fan, a shooter fan, spaceship shooter, whatever you want to call it, this game is going to scratch that itch.
All right, John, we knew you would pull a rabbit out of your hat. What a great pick. Troubleshooter for the Sega Genesis is an amazing game. We actually were exposed to it by another guest on the channel before. Brian brought it over one time, and he's a Genesis junkie as well. If you guys haven't checked out Baltimore Retro Gamer's YouTube channel, get over there and check it out. He's going to lay so much knowledge on you about this category, and he knows way more than we know about shoot 'em ups.
It's so crazy, all the stuff that he talks about. I'm like, what how do you discover these things? It's just, I learn about all these new games because of him. So we'll leave his channel link in the description below. Go and check him out. He's incredible.
All right, I think it's time to talk about this beer. You are a huge IPA fan.
Yes.
And this thing is so damn good. But to talk about it a little further, I think we need to talk to Janae, the general manager right here at Reclaimed Rails. So Janae, let's go. Oh my Lord, there she is. From this point forward, though, we're gonna go with Nene. Is that all right?
Nene.
I am Nene.
All right,
That's who I
sounds
am.
good. The Hipster Juice IPA, fantastic beer. I have admittedly said I'm not a huge IPA fan, but I am loving this. Tell us all we need to know about the Hipster Juice.
Okay, well obviously I'm partial to this beer because I work here, I watch it get made, I sell it. However, it is one of my favorite beers. It's phenomenal. It's the perfect juicy hazy IPA, which is all the craze right now. You see it everywhere, a bunch of breweries are doing this, but I think that we make a phenomenal one. Obviously, it looks like we're drinking orange juice.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so cloudy. It's
super hazy, super juicy.
Scrumptious, wow.
It's delicious.
Yeah.
I'm a huge IPA fan, and this is incredible. It's really smooth. It's got that good citrus juice taste, and it's not real attacky like most IPAs are nowadays, which I like. I like the smoothness, and I've said it a million times, but I could drink this on a hot summer day.
Yeah, that's your go-to. But I think you just like drinking during the day. But nonetheless, the blend, the balance, everything here is A+. Fantastic. It doesn't have that attack on the hops. It tries to like be a badass, kick you in the nuts. It is just a great, smooth, blended IPA. You guys did a fantastic job. This might be one of the better beers in the state.
I agree. I think that Reclaim Rails is coming up for you.
Yeah, so a little bit about the brewery. You guys are still kind of in the growth phase, right?
Right,
You're not
yep.
Distributed really much across the state, except for in like bars and things like that,
Yeah,
correct?
we have about like 30 different accounts that we're in, distributed across the Des Moines area. Mostly we have a couple accounts in like Muscatine, we have some Ames area, Cambridge, that kind of stuff. We're kind of expanding, we're right in that growth period, and this Hipster's gonna help us get there because it's one of our top sellers.
Yeah, and I think in most of the places you guys are in, you're like the #1 selling beer. So if you guys are rolling through the state, you gotta find a pub or a watering hole somewhere that is serving something from Reclaimed Rails. We've had their porter, we've had this, and the beers are divine. So we really appreciate you having us and
absolutely.
joining us here
Cheers.
for the chaos. Cheers, everybody. You know, we always appreciate you tuning in and subscribing to the channel. Keep gaming, keep drinking. We'll see you next time right here on Gaming Off the Grid.
Cheers.
For scratches.
Get some scratches, you know, you ready to go? Okay.
Since we're at a brewery, you would think that we'd be drinking beer, but we are not. Just kidding.
All right. We're just stacking up bloopers, baby. That's all we're doing. It's no big deal. No big deal at all, really. Don't even really care. Hey guys, Gaming Off the Grid here. No energy. No energy. Just somebody pulled the plug on me right there.
Yanked it.
All right. What are we drinking today?
They're drinking. Yep. That's what we're drinking. Dang it.